I'm Jessica Lonnie Rich, host of Inspire You and Me. It's an inspirational show where we talk to people who are making a difference. On this week's show, we have Michael Broderick, President and CEO of the YMCA of Honolulu, Dana Land, Executive Director for Help for Hawaii's Humanity, and we're on the road to the Hawaii Ocean Fest. And be sure to stay tuned for our Animal Lovers Clip of the Week. We'll have all that and more, and we'll be back right after this.
5914-777, 5914-777. Who's got the best deals in Vegas around? Who's got the best job? Call 5914-777 today. Vacations Hawaii. Vacations Hawaii. Vacations Hawaii. Good luck, we go play. 5914-777 today. Good luck, we go play.
We are very pleased to have as our special guest on the show. He is the President and CEO of the YMCA of Honolulu, Michael Broderick. Welcome,
Thanks
Michael.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're such a busy person.
No, everybody's busy. Everybody's busy.
But we thank you for being here. Michael, what does YMCA stand for those people who don't know?
Young Men's Christian Association. Although as I talk further, I'll let you know we take everybody. But that's what it stands for, Young Men's Christian Association. Yeah.
What is the mission of the YMCA?
So the mission is to strengthen the foundation of community in three ways: youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility.
You mentioned youth programs. Let's talk about the youth programs.
So let me give you some examples of our youth programs. We have 58 A+ sites. So that gives us an opportunity to impact the hearts and minds of almost 7,000 children. Isn't that incredible?
That is amazing.
Yeah, we teach homeless children how to swim, as an example. We take high school students who have no interest in going to college, and we work with them to get them ready and motivated to go to college. We have a drug treatment program where we help middle school and high schoolers get off of drugs. So those are some examples of our youth development.
The title of our program is Inspire You and Me. You talked about homeless children swimming. When they're swimming, they're not thinking about being homeless.
They feel like everybody else for the first time in their life. Yeah,
Amazing.
it is very inspiring. Use the word inspirational, it's very inspiring. Yeah. And on the healthy living side, some examples are we have a Parkinson's program, we have an arthritis program, we have a blood pressure program, and we have a program for pre-diabetics to make sure that they don't become full-blown diabetics. So those are examples of that. And then social responsibility, the best example I can give you is at our Central Y, we house homeless families, and we do that for free. And most of them are there for 6 to 8 months before they transition into a more permanent setting. So we're very proud of that.
That is amazing. Let's go over a couple of those that you just mentioned. First of all, I didn't know that you had health-related programs, and let's talk a little bit more. If somebody wants to, how do they find out about it?
So the referrals come from different places. Sometimes a doctor will refer a patient. Sometimes an insurance company will refer a patient. And we, of course, are constantly out in the community doing shows like this to educate the public about the opportunities that they have at the Y.
That's wonderful. And then you also mentioned the homeless program that you have. A lot of people didn't even know that you did this.
Right.
Now, what a wonderful opportunity.
I have to give my wife some credit. So my wife said, how many rooms do you have available at the Central Y? And I said, we have about 50% of our rooms are open. And she said, I got an idea. Why don't you house the homeless? And I said, that's a great idea. Wow. And that was the genesis of it. And so we've done that now, I think, about 3 years.
Amazing.
We're very proud of that.
Yes. And is there a screening process for that?
Yes. And we work with other agencies who refer them to us, and they do the screening.
Michael, how did you get involved with the YMCA?
So I was a family court judge. And what I found as a family court judge, and this is sad to say, is that I couldn't help most of the people who appeared before me. It was too late. At the same time, I was on the corporate board of the YMCA. And so I was introduced to all the prevention programs that the Y has. So I said to myself, why don't I apply for the CEO position so that I can prevent youth and families from ending up in family court? That was
amazing.
That was the thinking, and it proved true. So
yes.
I applied and got the job, was blessed to get the job, and I've never looked back.
And how long have you been involved with the YMCA?
I've been involved 8.5 years.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's gone by very quickly.
Yeah. How do you know how the YMCA got started?
Sure. So 175 years ago in London, a gentleman started the first Y.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
and the intent was to take young men who were on the street doing bad things and put them in a more healthy setting. And then 25 years later, Sanford Dole here in Hawaii and 2 of his friends started the YMCA of Honolulu. So we are 150 years old this year.
Wow, you look great for your age. Just
I
kidding.
appreciate that. I work hard. I work out at the Y.
You work out at the Y.
Yeah.
Okay. And Michael, you know, what are some of the most popular programs at the Y?
So certainly our youth programs are very popular. Our A+ site, our Camp Erdman, one of our branches is Camp Erdman, our swimming programs. And what's unique about these programs is that they're not just about child care. They're about developing character in youth and developing servant leadership.
Now let's talk about Camp Erdman. How does it work?
So Camp Erdman's almost 90 years old. And I think of it as a healing place because we have young children who have a father in prison who come to Camp Erdman. We have young children who have a terminally ill sibling who come to Camp Erdman.
Sad.
We have a young child who has a father deployed who comes to Camp Erdman. It is sad, but at the same time, these children learn for the first time that there are other children who have the same problems and challenges that they have. And so they leave, often making lifelong friends.
And that's a wonderful foundation, what you're talking about, Michael, for their entire life,
Absolutely.
not just for their youth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've been there now almost 8 years, and I get letters from young people, 15, 16, 17, who tell me that they met someone 8 or 9 years ago at Camp Erdman who's become a very close friend of theirs. So we're very proud of that.
That's almost like a second family.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about a lot of programs with the Y. What else is it about the Y that you'd like us to know that you haven't already shared with us?
A couple things that make the Y very special. First of all, we are for all, not just Christians. We're for everybody. Second thing is we're intergenerational. So we have 6-month-olds that we're getting in the pool.
Wow.
To about 15 members of our Kaimukiwa who are over 90 years old.
Oh my gosh.
So we're intergenerational. We have a wide breadth of programs. And then every year, most people don't know this, every year we raise over $1 million and then we turn around and give it away in the form of scholarships so that those people who could not afford our programs and services are able to come to the Y.
Michael, the title of our show is Inspire You and Me. You went from a family court judge to being the president of the Y. What inspires you?
You know, I went from suffering in family court to pure joy at the Y. On any given day in family court, I might have 10 to 40 cases, and they were with people who were in terrible, terrible emotional shape. And then I went to the YMCA, where it's all about prevention, it's all about leadership, and so that inspires me. Making that transition was a very, very joyful transition for me.
That is amazing. Yeah. You are not just doing wonderful things in our community, you're doing wonderful things in the world because all these people that you are helping are going out into the world and making it a better place.
I appreciate that.
In closing, can you please give us your website?
www.ymcahonolulu.org.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much for your interest in the YMCA.
Michael, thank you so much for being a guest on the show, and I wish you continued success.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Unique, majestic, inspiring. Hawaii's hidden gem on the windward side. Just a short scenic drive will take you to one of the most extraordinary locations in the world. We specialize in conferences, meetings, retreats, business functions, social events, and off-premise catering. Delectable cuisine, stunning panoramic views, and excellence in first-class service. Let Ko'olau Ballrooms and Conference Center make your event a memorable experience.
We are excited to have as our very special guest on the show. She is the Executive Director for Help for Hawaii's Humanity, Dana Land.
Aloha, Jessica.
Hi, Dana. How are you? It's so great to see you.
Thank you. Lovely to see you. Thank you for having me.
Dana, you are such an amazing person. You have so many talents, being an entertainer, an entrepreneur, an actress, a comedian, and much, much more. And now you are the Executive Director for Help for Hawaii's Humanity. Share with us about your mission.
I worked with children in music for many years, and as fun as that was, I always felt like there could be something more that I could be doing to help kids. And a couple of years ago, my daughters came back from a trip from Colombia, South America, with this book that they had been asked to help pass out to this sort of impoverished area there outside of Cartagena. And it's called The Way to Happiness. It's a book that's being used around the world, and it's a non-religious moral code. It's been translated into about 115 different languages.
Oh my goodness.
And it's being used in the Philippines, Nepal, Pakistan, Israel, Colombia, the US, all over the planet really, from police departments, schools, other organizations, other churches, all kinds of organizations, to help improve conditions for people and in communities. We have a problem, lots of problems that affect Hawaii, and it's true for the nation and many parts of our planet, unfortunately. We're seeing drug use increase. We're seeing an increase in depression, an increase in suicide. And all of that means is, decrease in happiness, decrease in productivity. It means more crime. It's very far-reaching, the effects. And I looked through this book and I thought, wow, this could help everybody, all ages. That's why we see this book, being used all over the world.
You give workshops about how to make good choices. Share with us a little bit about this book.
First of all, I make the workshops fun because, if you're really going to expect anybody to get something out of this, you gotta just start, singing and dancing and engaging with the group, whether they're children or they're at-risk teens or they're women just out of prison, or they're employees of a business. It doesn't matter. Or even the police department. I want to take this into the police department. But it's a very simple program, and we just start reading through the chapters. And I open up dialogue, and I ask people, how have you seen this particular problem? Say, trustworthy, chapter 9. Why is it important to be trustworthy? What does it mean to be trustworthy? How have you seen it in your family or your group of friends or your group of fellow colleagues? Set a good example. Why is it important to set a good example? Why is it important to be competent? Learn to do something well. And then of course take care of yourself, because if you're not taking care of this body and this vessel, then there's not a whole lot one can do in life.
Dana Land, what inspires you?
Oh, I love that question. Well, first of all, talking about inspiration, whatnot, and passion too, because I think those sort of go hand in hand. People ask me, well, how did you get into the music business? Well, all I did was follow up a mild interest at the age of 39. I had a whole nother career as a project manager running hotel renovations in San Francisco and up in the wine country. But I'd always sort of been curious about working on my voice, so I took a voice lesson and had no idea that it was going to really give me some, charge to kind of follow it up.
You want to give us a little sample?
Let's see. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head the way he described it. He said I'd be better dead than alive. I didn't listen to his jive. I knew all along that he was all wrong, and I knew that he thought I was crazy, but I'm not. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Anyway, yeah.
I put
It's
you
a little
on the
too
spot.
early for a jazz vocalist to sing a song.
Dana, you're also an entertainer. How did you get started?
Started out just as a mild interest, and I encourage others. You know, if they say, "Well, I don't have a passion," how do you find a passion, or how do you get inspired to do something? And I just tell them, you know, for me, all I did was follow up an interest. You never know, you know, take a cooking class, take a, you know, wheel throwing class, and, you know, work with clay or painting, or, I mean, there's so many things out there that are creative that, you know, you never know what's really gonna jazz you up, right? So, took a voice lesson and had a great coach, and within a year I was performing professionally. I never thought in a zillion years that that is where it would lead. But I started singing jazz and I thought, oh, this is fun because, you know, you can change it up and it's got that improvisational quality, and that was just exactly what I love to do.
In closing, how can people get in touch with you? Can you share with us your website?
The website is helpforhawaiishumanity.org, and they can email me. It's info@helpforhawaiishumanity.org, and they can call me too. I'm very available. And if they want to learn more, they can contact me. I'm happy to meet with them and give them a presentation and show them the book and talk to them about what I do. And on my website, we're starting to upload some interviews and videos and whatnot, so they can really get a lot of information just on the website.
And if someone from another part of the country, let's say, wants to invite you to go and do a workshop, would you be open to that as well?
Absolutely. In fact, I am working on a keynote speech. So I'll just add that to my little list of services and offer to do keynote speaking. And I incorporate my comedic characters. I've got crazy comedic characters, Hula Rosie and Sylvia Agnes Scribble and, you know, Isabel, Anna Maria Sofia Alberghetti, Lorenzo Forez, is she from Sicily? And then Lola, Russian undercover operative. So, you know, we do sort of transformations from Dana into one of these characters, but we talk about how to really become more productive and happier people by making good choices in life. Yeah, and that's kind of the bottom line.
That's great. Well, Dana, thank you so much for being the passionate, lively, inspirational human being that you are. We thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to be with us and to also make the world a better place.
Thank you so much, Jessica, for having me. It's my pleasure to do this.
When you feel like Vegas, there's just one place to stay. Grab a drink at the Holo Holo bar. There's just one place to play. We got a fresh, hot look, a new sports book. We got those local meals, just like Auntie cooks. Aloha spoken here.
Book now at thecal.com.
Russ, this is very exciting. We're here at Blaisdell Exhibition Hall and for the Hawaii Ocean Expo, and you're the founder. How did this get started?
Wow, it's crazy. It literally got started from a dream, like a bad dream actually. I had a dream that I had to take my kids fishing in a warehouse, and we had to buy the bait and buy a hot dog, and that's how they caught fish because the resources, the natural resources, were so diminished. And I woke up in a cold sweat, and I have a history that I would entertainment production company in the past. So I talked to my partners, like, I got this idea, let's do this. And 10 years later, here we are.
Oh my gosh, so how many years have you been producing the Hawaii Ocean Expo?
So this is our 10th year.
Tell us about some of the exhibitors who are here today.
So it's a ocean-minded ocean celebration event. So we try to keep all of our vendors as well, just having something to do with the ocean, whether it's education, whether it's retail, It's just a fun get together. Yeah.
And you said that you had this bad dream that sort of like the ocean was no longer going to exist. It's almost like a vision that you.
I guess so. I mean, it's one of those things that you're around so much, you take for granted that how much do you really know what's out there, how much, and there's so much going on with like the coral bleaching and just the fish that aren't around anymore. You hear the old timers telling you about, oh, back in the day we used to catch this, back in the day you used to have, and like, if what am I going to tell my kids if back in the day when I'm having a hard time catching a few fish nowadays, you know what I mean? So it gets scary, so we got to take the responsibility. So this expo itself, we have an education side which will hopefully educate and teach the next generation, to catch what you need and not overfish and just be just good on just the pollution and whatnot that our oceans take in every day.
So in addition to education, you also want us to preserve the ocean.
Oh, definitely, most definitely. You gotta know the ins and outs, ups and downs of what happens by overfishing, polluting, and whatnot. And it's one of the things you think it's a simple common sense, but it's not. And we gotta make sure that the next generation is very good at knowing that this is what we do, not should we do this or not.
Is there anything else about the Hawaii Ocean Expo that you'd like us to know?
It's a resource we are surrounded by in Hawaii, of course, and just respect it, take care of it. We tell our kids always when we get to the beach, if we're fishing the area or just hanging out, when we leave, we always leave the area cleaner than it was. And if everybody has that thought process whenever they use the beach or go swimming or go diving and try to clean up after themselves to make it better, it just will help the situation as a whole.
Russell, thank you so much for organizing the Hawaii Ocean Expo. It's very exciting, and it also helps the younger generation and all of us to take better care of our ocean.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for having us, and I just hope we have another 10 more years.
I am very pleased to have Sam Paʻe. He is the instructor with Hawaii Ocean Education Academy with Windward Community College. Aloha, welcome, Sam.
Hi, aloha. Thank you very much for having me.
Sam, tell us about the Hawaii Ocean Education Academy.
We teach a lot of the ocean safety courses. I'm the instructor for the Thrillcraft course. We also teach an ocean education course. We also teach Red Cross lifeguarding courses there at the Ocean Education Academy.
So the job that you do, specifically, what does that entail?
What I do is I teach the people in the state of Hawaii, I teach them the rules and regulation for thrillcraft operations. Anybody who owns a thrillcraft in the state of Hawaii, they have to go through a safety education course, and it has to come out of the Institute of Higher Education, and that's where Windward Community College comes in. And we teach them all the regulations on where they can and cannot operate within the state of Hawaii.
So when we're talking about a thrill craft, you're also talking about jet skis.
Yes, jet skis, the Yamahas, the Kawasaki's, the Hondas, all the Hawaii consider them as a thrill craft. So anybody who's operating a thrill craft has to go through a safety course.
And while we're talking about the safety of jet skiing and other thrill crafts, tell us about some of the other ocean safety tips that you can share with us.
What we teach in the class too, and we try to share our knowledge with everybody, is when you go out to the ocean, inspect the ocean, watch what it's doing. The ocean can change at any point in time. It can be safe in 5 minutes. In 10 minutes, it could be dangerous. So check the current, check the conditions, check the tides. Is there waves? Check the shorelines. Are there debris? Are the reef, sand? So the best thing to do is educate yourself, watch what's going on, so you can make yourself safe.
And also, Sam, I notice some people who don't surf a lot, for example, sometimes they go into isolated areas, and I'm sure you wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, I would. We try to tell everybody, go in an area where you can swim, where there's a lot of people, and go with a lifeguard especially. The lifeguards are there for your safety. They're part of the ocean safety, so they're there to help educate you and to show you don't be here, and if there's going to be some waves, it's best to watch for it. Yeah.
Sam, how did you get into this?
I've been active in the water since I was a little kid, 30, 40 years, and I'm always in the water. And to this day, I go in the water and I try to learn from it every day when I'm there.
And if someone wants to take your course, how can they do that?
Have them contact Winter Community College, the Ocean Education Academy, and then we can veer them in what course that they want to take.
And can you tell us if there's anything that you haven't already shared with us that you'd like us to know about ocean education safety?
Be safe out there. Take care of the ocean, take care of the environment. Swim with the lifeguards or swim with the family. Always have a buddy system, especially a buddy system in case something was to ever happen. At least somebody knows where you're at. Thanks. Yeah.
Sam, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule. You have an important role in our community, and we really appreciate it. Aloha.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Aloha.
Oh my goodness. Nico. Oh my goodness.
We hope that you've enjoyed our show this week. I'm going to leave you with a rich thought for the day. Change happens in our life almost every week. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale said, when you change your thoughts, you change your life. Think about it. Until we meet again, I'm Jessica Lonnie Rich. Take care.
Oh, my, it's a beautiful world. I like surfing Waikiki. I like to paddle out beyond the white breakers, where a man can still be free, or a woman if you are one. Yes, I do like surfing Waikiki. My, it's a beautiful world. My, it's a beautiful world. Oh, my, it's a beautiful world. My, it's a beautiful world.
The hardest thing in life is letting go of a loved one. Finding the right provider can be essential in your time of need. Celebrate your loved one with Ballard Family Mortuaries. We offer a full range of cremation and burial services on Oahu, Maui, Hilo, and Kona, with professional guidance and specialized attention you can trust at the most affordable cost. Call us today for a free consultation on funeral service options available to you and your family. Ballard Family Mortuary Group, serving Hawaii since 1997.